Hey guys, final exam information for Math 1170 Fall 2016. I'm not a fan of PowerPoint, but to be honest with you, I wanted to do a PowerPoint so semester after semester I can just go in and edit this. So, got some important stuff here and trying to get you ready to take the final exam and get you out of this class successfully and get 1170 behind you. First thing, date, time and room number. Your final exam is Wednesday, December the 14th. It's actually 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. I think in an earlier email I listed it as 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. But I noticed in the syllabus it's 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I want to stick with my word and make it for 4 hours. Now, I'll tell you right now, if it takes you 4 hours to do to take your final exam, I'm going to be slightly concerned. So it's drop in. You'll drop in if there's a computer available. You get on. You'll take your final exam. It'll probably take somewhere between an hour and 90 minutes, and you're out of there. So no way are you going to be there for 4 hours. Somebody emailed me not long ago and said, "Well, Dr. Darbo, I have a class from 4 to 6." Well, okay, we'll start at 6 or 6:30, whatever you need. The exam is in the library 110. This is a new computer lab that we, being the math department, developed. It's in the basement of the library. All right. Cheat sheet. Guys, you get 1 page of notes, front and back, no limitations. You can write the Gettysburg Address on there if you think it's going to help you do well on this exam. It's not. Don't waste your time. But what I would do is I would focus on questions that I struggle with, um, and kind of create a page of notes for me. And yeah, so I mentioned that I'm not being very clear here. I saw a student one time that created a page of notes for them, and they copied them and gave them to their friend, and they used those. I thought that was pretty stupid. I know it was stupid because what your friend doesn't know may not be what you don't know. So sit down for about an hour and make this thing out. For your needs. Class evaluations, a couple of things. You received in the mail, no, I'm sorry. You received in an email from the Director of Assessment uh, the pin and a link to the site where you put your formal class evaluation. So one of your questions is going to be on your final exam, did you submit your class evaluation? If you say yes, you're going to get it correct. It's only going to be worth like 1 or 2 points. If you say no, you're going to get it wrong. And I had a student one time ask me, so Dr. Darby, how are you going to know? I'm just going to take your word for it. Same thing with Rate My Professor. A lot of students go to ratemyprofessor.com uh, and, um, and make comments about classes. I've never solicited Rate My Professor comments, but I kind of am in this situation because a lot of students are kind of iffy about taking an online class. So probably more than anything, you're rating the online class because you really don't get to know me that much in an online class. So another question that you're going to get on your final exam is, did you go to ratemyprofessor.com and make comments about the class? Guys, I'm not soliciting good comments. I hope you'll make good comments because I hope this has been successful for you, and I think I hope you've enjoyed the flexibility of the online format. But if it hasn't, feel free to make comments. I won't read them. I don't go on ratemyprofessor.com and read my stuff, but other students I understand do. Okay, so again, on your homework assignment and your final exam, there will be 2 questions. Did you submit your formal class evaluation through SSU? If you say yes, you get credit. And then I ask if you submitted a response on ratemyprofessor.com. And again, the reason is there are just so many students that don't understand the online format. They think that I just throw a book at them and it's their responsibility to read the book and figure all this stuff out, and they don't understand that there are videos that go along with the lectures. All right, calculating your final grade. This is super important. The grading criteria that's presented on the class syllabus says that there will be 20% of your, 20% of your final grade comes from assignments and quizzes, and then 40% each for the midterm and final exam. Now, I've had a policy for years where if a student scores higher on the final exam than the midterm, I will replace the midterm score. Now, I'm going to continue doing that as long as you've submitted your assignments on time, your My Math Lab assignments on time. And even if you maybe missed one, submitted one late, I'm still going to implement this policy. It's not something I have to do because it's not in the syllabus, but it's something that I do pretty consistently with all of my classes. So, a lot of times students will email me at this stage of the game and they'll say, Dr. Darber, what can I do to increase my grade? And kind of being a smart aleck in a way, I just say study. Because if you think about it, if you did poorly on your first exam, your midterm, and you have submitted all these things on time, which you should have. I mean, there's no reason not to, because I explained all that in the introductory video. Then you essentially have in your palm 80% of your grade yet to be determined. You got your 40% on your final, which all of you get. And then if you've done things like I explained to you the first day of class, the first video of class, then you've got that replacing the midterm, which is 40%, with your final exam score. So I know there's one student in this class who has done pretty well in the assignments. They've submitted them on time. But they did like a 35% on the midterm. They could essentially wipe that grade completely out by scoring really well on the final exam. So what could he do for extra credit? Study for the final exam. The study guide that there's two things going on here. First of all, you've got the videos that have been posted for a study guide, on Blackboard, and then you've got a My Math Lab assignment that's a study guide that will help you prepare for the final exam. So write those problems down and do them over and over and over. So practice, okay? My Math Lab assignments, you've received an email not long ago. I've reopened all for late submission. If they are late, you still get a 50% penalty, but it's only on the questions submitted after the due date. I'm going to close down all assignments, including the final assignment for your study guide, at 7 p.m. Actually, that will be 8 p.m. on December the 14th. I think it's just goofy, and it's just it's useless to all of this is trying to prepare you for the final exam. So you're just playing some goofy form of school when you go in and do these assignments after the final exam. So anyway, you may agree with me, you may not. I really don't care about that. Well, I do care, but I'm not going to bend my rule. You have until 8 p.m. December 14th to submit assignments. Then I'm going to cut them down. I'll shut it off, and then I'll start calculating final grades. All right, final grades. They are due Tuesday, December 20th at noon. I would say, so you guys take your exam on December the 14th. Give me a couple of days to go in and restructure all the goofiness that my Math Lab does with calculating the scales on the grades. And when I do get this all recalculated correctly, I'll send out an email and say that you can get a pretty good indication of your final grade on my Math Lab. So I'm thinking I'll probably have those I think there'll be a pretty good indication by that Friday, probably by around noon or 2 p.m. You can go on there and see the grade that you get, and it'll be a pretty good indication of what you're going to get. Guys, I go with the standard grading scale. 90 to 100 is an A. Typically 90 to 91 is an A minus, and then 92 and above is an A. Same thing with Bs. 80 and 81s are B minuses. 82s up to 87s are Bs. And then 88s and 89s are B pluses. And that just works its way down. Typically, failing is anything below 60. But if I think you've tried and you've done what I've asked you, and you get your final average in the 50s, then I'm going to pass you. I'm not going to hold you up. But if I feel you're an A student and you've just been screwing around, then getting the 50s, I may require you to take the class over. But it's hard to say on it in terms of a policy. It's on a case by case basis. But according to the syllabus, which is our contract, anything below 60 is failing. But okay, gang, I think that's it. I don't think there's any more. No, there's not. So, guys, happy studying. Watch those videos, and I will see you on the 14th. Take care.